Our boys' new defense in the video today. Also going to be rocking Jets offensive playbook. The defense we're taking a look at here is the 4-2-5 over G. This is in the Jacksonville Jaguars defensive playbook. It is very quickly becoming one of my favorite ways to play defense in this game. If you guys want to learn exactly how I run this offense and defense, you can get them in my ebooks. Those are going to be available in our school community. That is only $10 to be a member, and you get access to everything, all of our offensive and defensive ebooks for both Madden and for college football. So if you're looking to take your game to the next level in either one of those games, I'd encourage you to become a school community member. You can sign up at the link in the description below. And as I said, we're taking a look here at Jets offensive playbook and Jags defensive playbook. Now, what I like to do real quick, make sure you use every game you play auto pass protection. You set that thing to base, and then you come out in spacing switch. The reason you come out in spacing switch is because it has probably one of the best table routes in the entire game. You can pretty much do a lot of different combos around it. It pretty much all revolves around the table route. The table route is what makes the play really, really good. Another thing that I like to do is audible from bunch X nasty to bunch tight end. If you're playing somebody and you notice, as you see right here, they don't flip, we can put this guy on a flat, and a lot of times this bubble is going to be money. That corner made the play of his career. Aqib Talib. I don't know how Aqib Talib would ever be able to make that play in real life, but you better believe we're going to do it one more time just to see if that was fluke or not. And this time, because he's not putting his guys over there, we're just going to leave the bubble on. A little slow development here. Actually get some good blocks and be able to get up field. Now, again, every year, right, I feel like it's always important to try to make offense as easy as possible. And EA Sports has done us a wonderful favor in making this probably the most offensive Madden game I've ever played, and we have switched it. So, with that in mind, you're not going to see a whole lot of complicated stuff. I really believe in making the game as simple as possible, trying to use doing that through different things like RPOs, doing that through different things like effective route combinations, high leverage. I call them high leverage route combos. That's just combos that work against every single defense. They give you good answers consistently. Those are the combos that I believe in. And it looks like he is going to be in cover 3 cloud pretty much every play. So what we should be able to do here is go to this play mesh out of the bunch tight end. He's going to probably set up RPO defense. We're going to have this play mesh called. We're really looking for this corner route on the left side. That's our main read, but he is in cover 3 cloud, so I should be able to throw that right up the middle and just take that nice team streak for 6. And this is, I think, our playoffs right now. So kind of important that we win these games. That's why we've got the big nickel over G defense, getting comfortable with this, getting more comfortable with it every game I play in it. And I really like it. I like it because it could be as simple or complicated as you want it to be. It has different type of blitzes that are really good. The sheds in big nickel are way better than like a big nickel over G, for example. And then you're going to have amazing run defense from this. It's got some of the best run defense in the game for both under center and shotgun. You don't have to really do that much to stop the run. And my coach adjustments for the defense is we're going to disable this conservative, aggressive, conservative, conservative. And then at the bottom, close and pinch. That is how I like to set this up. And he is going to be coming out in I-form wing. So whenever somebody wants to come, also make sure you put the slot cornerback package on, and then you want to put your shell on cover 4. I'm going to come out and cover one hole here and slant my line inside, spread them, QB contain, and then I'm trying to get on the middle third. I'm not able to do that. And it looks like he's going to be speed boosting us with Jerry Rice. So love to see that. Love to see that in my playoffs. I wish more people did this. JK, this is the worst thing ever. And I'm not looking forward to playing this. All right, so we're just going to stay real simple defensively. Make him have to pass. We need that. We need that to be a tackle right there. Like, we really need that to be a tackle right there. I don't know how that wasn't a tackle right there. Trying to decide what we would also do because of the type of player he is. I'm actually going to take the shell back on default. The reason why is this is going to increase our box count and make him have to run the ball up the middle. We're going to have a little bit better of a chance at stopping the run on the edge here. And you see, just contain, man. Just contain that baby. That's all you got to do. Make them have to pass. You contain that run. You take that run away. It's going to be tough sledding for them. They don't want to play if they have to actually play the game. All right, so here is an audible. He's going to check. I think I'm going to check here into just a basic palms. We get a little quick snapped. And he's going to throw us a book right there. Nice little play. And that's what I was talking about. If you notice, what's really interesting, what's funny about this is the guy was actually going to get open, but he runs such a god awful route combination that his guy bumps into my guy, and my guy picks it off. Take a look here at the instant replay. Again, we're all matched up and down the field. Didn't get my stuff set up. And he runs a running back streak into a crosser. The guy hits him, and it saves me the game, and he is going to get out of there early. All right, boys, so that's going to take us to our Super Bowl. This is kind of a really important game for us to win. Obviously, get great rewards. I think we're in the Legend division, so we'll see if we're able to get it done. Take a look at a squad here. Looks like his squad's not as quite as talented as the I Just Lost team, so we'll see what we're able to do with this, see what scheme he's rocking, see if we can get out of here. Whenever I play a Super Bowl game like this, or a game where I feel like I kind of generally want to win, like you obviously want to win most games, but there's certain games where you want to win a little bit more because a loss is certainly more costly because you lose everything you just worked for in the season, right? I hate to have the ball first. In my settings, I have it set to always kick in this situation. So that tells me that he at least has that setting set. So that gives you a little insight into, okay, he might know a little something, right? You always want to kick the ball off because that end of half possession is really the most important possession of the game. So what I like to do here starting out, like I said, we're going to go on base protection. I always like to start with an RPO just to kind of see what we're working with, kind of get a look at what his defense is. How good is his RPO defense? Is he in a meta defense? Is he not in a meta defense? As you see right here, he's in double mug. That's like an automatic audible to trips RPO because you see how they all stay over there. So now this bubble should be pretty free here. And great run stick by me. All right, so he is going to be running double mug. Looks like he's going to be running more of a zone base. And then another thing you always want to look for is like, do they come out in the same defense twice? So as you see right here, he does not, or no, he does come out in the same. Now, what it showed me last time, shout out to previous play, showed me that he was blitzing a slot corner. So we're just going to run one more RPO just to kind of see, again, what's his core scheme, right? What are his main things that he's trying to do? Is he trying to blitz the slot corner a lot? Like, how does he want to get pressure? What's also nice about this is kind of knowing the best blitzes in the game, the best defenses in the game. He's not running double mug like he actually wants to get significant pressure. When you leave both those linebackers like that, what I do is you just want to on-target this left of screen defensive end. The reason for that is because you want to untarget the defensive end over the tight end. The reason for that is if he blitzes, then the tight end will chip him, and you see that he's going to give up spacing switch, a very, very free completion. The other thing that I like to do on my first drive that I think is actually pretty relevant is I like to do kind of a good mix of flipping. And then the other thing is I like to run like a collection of plays, if you will, like a scripted, almost like a script, right? Not all the way like that, but I like to kind of just give myself easy completions, kind of get myself in the flow. Like right here, he goes to dollar. That's an automatic inside zone. I got to see that you have run defense. They actually did have pretty good run defense, and actually that could not have worked out worse for me. So that's unfortunate. But he did go to jump. He did jump in the dollar. One of the things I know that dollar tends to struggle with a little bit is kind of the high-low stuff. So we're going to do a little stemmed up curl, short corner with a swing here, kind of make him have to defend the underneath, and we're able to just dump it down. And that's what normally dollar's going to defend everything underneath and nothing in the middle, or it's going to defend everything in the middle and nothing underneath. And right there, that's what we got. 3rd and 4, you're going to see here, I'm going to flip this play. The other thing, like I said, is I think it's really, really helpful whenever you're playing to run very basic plays that give you good quality answers against every coverage. And as you see here, like I said, he's not really showing a ton of pressure. So because he's not showing a ton of pressure, I know I'm going to have a lot of time. I'm really wanting to work this left side here. So see kind of how that goes. And he's got a mid-read, but that mid-read was so far down, this should be a throw for a touchdown. It is. That's another disadvantage to double mug, is when they try to play cover 2 out of a double mug look like that, that middle linebacker is in the mid-read. The deep halves really, really expand wide this year, and that mid-read cannot really get back when he is running backwards from a double mug look. He has to be more off the ball. So you ever see something like that, that's a little bit of a shot. Obviously, 3rd and 4, you still have 4th down to be able to go for it if you don't make it. But, gotta have, gotta see what you're really working with, especially when you're playing head to head. You don't know the skill level, you know what I mean? But you can pretty much bank that they're not probably an MCS pro, right? In every head to head game. Sometimes you will match up with them, but generally speaking, they're going to be a average to above average or below average player. You're not going to get like the top players in the world typically. So you can sometimes just try some stuff a little bit in head to head. It's what makes it honestly a good mode to get better at. If you play a lot of head to head, you're going to get a lot of reps. So. All right, so now defensively, what do I like to do on defense? So a couple things. The first thing I like to do, number one, I like to see if he's going to run the ball or not. That's always super important. We talked about that a little bit. Double check my coach adjustments, make sure we're good to go. We are, and then make sure slot cornerback package here. Got to make sure my guys are subbed in too. I always forget that. And he's coming out in bunch X nasty first play, single back bunch X nasty. So what I like to do, without even setting the shell, I just want to make sure, like, is this his main scheme or not? That's really the question. So I always like the user here. If he passes, I normally switch stick off of that middle third down to the 3 rec, so I still get that deep protection. But almost always, when I see under center runs like that, that's like immediate, okay, when he comes out in a passing set, like right here, I'm automatically going to blitz him. So what we're going to do, we're going to try to get into our blitz here. And I'm going to route commit to the inside. So you see it looks like zone. Kind of hover here, get a little pressure. He does block. He's going to throw right to me. I'm going to take the ball away. See right there, that's why you do that. So the reason behind that, like, again, when you're playing just head to head or you're playing whatever, you got to make them prove they can beat the basic stuff before you get more advanced. So right there, that's just a basic cover zero, send pressure out of it. And he ended up blocking his running back, got a pretty decent pickup out of it. But, ultimately didn't have, a great opportunity there. So we're able to play just good enough coverage, just good enough, right? Wasn't amazing, but going to go to RPO, start out here. This is hard to guard him, man. You see, just catch him and something like that. That's just a cheap touchdown. I call that's just free because it's just that audible from bunch to trips. Is specifically, this is why I really prefer Jets over Benkert dimes. So we're going to get another quit. Is because of, honestly, that trips tight end offset. I really think the RPO out of there is way better than some of the other things that are in Benkert. All right, so one of the other things when you're playing a lot of games head to head or a lot of like games in a sequence, one of the things that is also really good to remember is every time you start a new game, you have to kind of, to a degree, treat it like the same, like a new game. Don't treat it like it's the same game. So, one of the easiest things to do is just make sure you're always setting up your coach adjustments at the special teams menu. That way it just kind of gives you that, okay, we're in a new game. So the reason that matters is because what I have a tendency to do, especially if I'm playing a lot of Madden in a day, let's say I'm trying to go through a whole season or whatever, what happens to me a lot is you kind of start to kind of like a continue game 1, game 2, game 3, and you play them all as like one game instead of all as 3 unique games. The reason that that's important is because if you play them as all 3 unique games, then you can become a lot more systematic in your actual implementation and execution of your scheme. So to me, that is super, super important. All right, so here I'm play a little, kind of a little bit of a poor look here. He does have the RG3, so this probably tells me that he's decent. Let's see what he's doing here. A little spacing switch, take his flat, and that's cool. So as you see there, I mean, just right there, that alone, I already know that this guy is probably going to be one of the better players that I've played, at least in this video. He is running a 2 running back set, which is kind of interesting. I'm going to man up. Okay. He's going to flip. My adjustments are going to go crazy. He's going to try to go for a bomb. That should be a pick. Yep. So tries to go for that cover 3 beater that everybody likes. I think it's one of the worst plays in Madden. And as you see right there, that is why. It's not a bad play, but what happens is people just fall in love with the bombing aspect of it, that it makes it it just makes it to me worse. But anyway, able to get the pick. Honestly, fairly fluky stop. Like I said, I like to play really simple in the beginning and try to like let the opponent lose the game before I try to go win the game, if you will. That's like always my strategy, at least in the first drive ish, that opening strategy. I think, giving them an opportunity to where if they make a mistake like he just made right here, if I don't make a mistake the rest of the game, I probably win this game because I get balled half. I'm now up a stop. Like there's nothing better than getting a stop on like the first or second play of the game like that. So he's in double mug. He's going to be spread. So because he spread both those guys, what that automatically tells me is that he wants to run the Texas four-man stunt. So right here, I'm just going to run a little RPO. Try to just hit one of these flats. If not, I'll just hand it off. And okay, he's going to run more of a man. I probably had that streak. What that RPO allows me to also see really quick that I think is really important, that RPO allows me to kind of see his coverage. So is he a man-based player, zone-based player, that kind of stuff? Those are things that you get a look at here. This should be the freest RPO of my life. The fact that I only got 7 yards is crazy. I always like to see, like, how do they adjust to the flip? As you see, he does not like when I flip. Like, he didn't flip his play. He had, like, there was a lot of yards that could have been had. I'm going to throw one more RPO. And the reason why is just because he's not really putting himself in a position to stop it. This should be open. Yeah, that should be free. And again, that's why honestly, this is why I like Jets, because the thing is, you have all the plays you need, I think, out of bunch tight end and bunch X nasty. I don't think there's never like a time where I'm like, man, I wish I had, XYZ play. So let's see here. I'm going to get him misaligned. I think he's going to be in a cover 2. So I'm looking for that seam streak. And that should be a touchdown. And you see how simple that is, right? That's just, I caught a couple RPOs, got a little bit of a feel for what he wanted to do defensively. And then I'm able to call a specific, it's not just a cover 2 beater. It actually has answers for every coverage, but it's really, really good against any kind of cover 2 or cover 3 cloud where they're trying to sell out for, the flat to stop your RPO game. So that was a big 7. Now, defensively, this is another thing that I think is really important. We're talking about managing a game. The best Madden players in the world, they manage situations and the game. They don't just throw everything out there right out of the way, right? They kind of like strategic in how they handle that. So when I think about that defensively here, and he's already changing up his formation, one of the things that this tells me is like, okay, we just want to kind of stay relatively basic. So that's why I got cloud flats, curl flats. My hooks are not on 5 in this situation, right? I'm just playing good old basic bend but don't break. Like a little drag like that is not a massive deal, right? The massive deal is the big cross or the big post. We want to make sure we're always taking that away, force him to work. Another thing about game management here, if this drive takes him a lot of time, then it's going to put me in a really good position for last drive of half. So, if I'm looking at doubles flex, there's a couple things I'm really looking at. I'm going to switch stick there, try to get back on the pose. That was pretty decent. And we're able to kind of handle some things. Again, this is, defense is largely based off tendency. So you have to really think through not only what can they do, but what are they actually doing. Those are very, very important. Here he's going to come out in trips. I will get a little aggressive here just because trips tends to struggle against man. I'm going to switch stick up here. Yeah, it tends to struggle. Oh, except for that route, whatever that was. Another really good feature of this game is you could clip. So I'm going to clip that because I didn't quite know what the running back route was. I'm going to let this go back to the huddle, hopefully. And if he doesn't go no huddle here, and he does go no huddle, okay, so we're going to have to see that another time. And I'm just going to hard flat this guy. And I'm going to switch stick. I'm going to get back on that post. And we're just going to swat that just because I didn't know if I was actually in a great position there. Now, I just want to look at that running back route just to see. So it looks like it's like a play action cross route. And that's kind of like a quick thing that I do just to make sure, I'm fully aware of what's going on. Such a big believer in containing the quarterback's throwing hand too when I'm playing More of a bend but don't break style here. Motion cross post. Actually, no, he like kind of changed it up. Did a little high-low levels combination. Ooh, he almost threw a pick. Jamal Adams is frozen. All right. I really want to send some pressure here on 3rd down and 10. I don't think you necessarily have to in this situation, but I kind of want to. So I think I'm going to send a little bit of a pressure. Let me see if I blitz this guy. Yeah, I'm going to send just a little bit of pressure. I'm going to pass commit 2. Just a basic little send 5. It's kind of a delay blitz with the user, get the DN going. Pretty good pressure right there. And this right here, for the first time, hopefully you've been watching this, you see the power of this defense. Take a look at this here. It gives you kind of the illusion that the middle of the field is covered. You're then going to blitz out of it. As you see, you get that DN flying in, and then you're able to basically just switch it onto the hook. So it's just one of my favorite ways to play defense here. I'm actually going to probably do that again. But this time, what we're going to do is we're going to send it off of the left side. And I'm going to kind of do a little hover here. I might get dotted here. This isn't going to be amazing. Yeah, got enough pressure. Did that DN come in? Did I get the DN in? I think I did there. That A gap. Nope, I just got a shed. Got a nice shed, and there it is. Got another quit. All right, got another game here. We'll see how this guy is working with. Looks like he's got a little Autumn Classic theme team going. See how that's going to work out for him. I am going to be still running Jets in Jags playbooks. There's some other stuff you could do out of Jags playbook too. You have big nickel over G, but you also have the standard double mug. You have dollar, which is really good this year. I think one of the better defenses, at least right now. And then you also have 4-3 even 6-1, and you have nickel wide. So you just have a lot of stuff in Jags. Jags is a really, really good playbook. I feel like it's either Jags or Vikings for best playbooks in the game. So again, disabled, conservative, aggressive, conservative, conservative. Again, every game is a new game. That is really, really, really important, because if you don't keep that in your mind, you'll literally start to like play this guy as if I was playing the last guy. So right here, I just want to be good, balanced run defense here. And you see, this is why I love this defense. Like, you have no idea how much I absolutely love being able to just defend the run without actually having to defend the run. Now, my opponent, I bet you money he is going to run, kind of a lot of interesting stuff here. So what I want to do is I just want to quickly start out with a quick 5-man quick blitz. You see how good that blitz is. Comes in clean. Just a simple 5-out pressure. The basic gist of it is he has to block that blitz well. He has to block the running back. Now, another thing that I don't do a ton, but I will do in situations, is I'll do a stunt. So right here, I'm going to do a Tom stunt. And I like to do this situationally. And this is sometimes can do just a really nice way to loop. And not able to pick it there. That was actually a pretty bad user on my part. But I get him in a 4th and 20 first couple plays defensively, and we get a punt. And then if I go down and get 7, right, it's just such a significant advantage. So again, it's just so important to me to remember, and I have to keep saying this to myself, just as much as I say it to anyone. You have to remember that this is a new game completely. So because that's the case, I want to call my highest leverage plays. Okay, that's the RPO. That's the run game. Now, the way that he's playing here, I pretty much know he's in cover 3 here. So I'm just going to run a high leverage route combination, right? Something like this. Just really reading that flat defender. Okay, I see them back up. I already know I could just take that quick flat. I also wasn't on a hash mark right there, so I didn't feel like an RPO was that great of a play call. But what am I going to do right here? You better believe I'm going to go right to an RPO, see if he jumped into man, see how he wants to play this. I always want to just test your bubble defense, because if you are going to give me free yardage, I'm going to take it, right? I also want to see how somebody handles a flip. So another combo that I really like in this game is really this right here. A couple different ways to kind of get to it, but it's essentially just taking advantage of this running back cross route. He pressed here, so I'm going to do double streaks instead of curls. I'm always looking at the streaks first to kind of see. I didn't like the picture, and I just dump it down to the little return route right there. But he did zone out of that, and that kind of gave me that last little thing that I needed to see, which is he's going to run a lot of cover 3, I think. So This is where I like to go to bunch tight end, get into a nice play that is really just designed to be able to attack zone well. Kind of reading that safety, but normally that safety going to drop back. I got that running back right there. That's good pressure from TJ Watt. Now, in a 3rd-and-1 situation, you can make the game easy on yourself or you can make it hard on yourself. I really like to make the game as easy as possible, but you see he did change things up. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to run the RPO to the wide side of the field, give it a lot of space to be able to work, watch that corner stay in. And now this is just a free first down, right? Did not have to think. I knew it was going to be open. I'm obviously reading it. I'm not going to throw it if he actually jumped it, but he stayed in quicksand and I'm able to, make a nice play. Now, as I said, I know he's in a lot of curl flats. So when someone is running a lot of curl flats, that means a combo like this normally could do pretty good. This corner route to the tight end could get open, but also the running back is always the first read here. As you see, he tries to kind of change things up in blitz, get him in quicksand, and we're able to get out of there with Mostert and get the touchdown. So again, it's just important to say calling high leverage plays, everything beaters, money plays, power plays, whatever you want to call them, but plays that have answers for every single coverage, plays that are really natty, really difficult to defend, calling good plays consistently, and calling them, not just calling them consistently, but calling them with purpose. Not just calling something just to call something, right? But having like, okay, I'm going to call this because number one, it's a good play, but number two, it's going to give me a look of like, how's he going to defend my main couple things that I want to do? If he can't defend those main couple things I want to do, then I can just do those until he tries to stop them. So I at least have to give him the benefit of the doubt of like, okay, I'm going to play really basic up front. If he can handle that well, then I'll have to adjust to that. If he doesn't, then I can pretty much stay like that. So anyway, I'm going to Trey Y flex here. So again, what are the real threat here? I'm going to get on this guy mainly so that I can kind of guard that verticals route that I keep getting hit. And you see I'm able to play a little bit better that time. Just kind of taking what they do, right? What does somebody do from trips tight end a lot? They throw verticals. So I'm going to just kind of like not necessarily over adjust to it, but just put myself in a good position to be able to play that. All right here. I'm going to blitz my user. Get a little quick pressure. Very nice. Right there, I just turned big nickel over G into double mug. Just blitz my user. D-pad switched off of him. And I just knew, right, if you blitz that formation, because the problem with that formation is there's not really a ton of super quick options. Right here is a little bit of a decision. He's going 5 wide. To me, I feel like this makes a lot of sense to just blitz him here. And I'm just going to kind of look for the crosser, basically. Take that away. There's a sack. And we're going to get that safety. Defense is actually balling out. And that's why I love this defense. I feel like this defense has a lot of answers. There's a lot of different ways that it can get pressure. It's one of the few defenses in the game that has multiple blitzes and then from the same look. And then the other thing that I think makes this defense really good is it has really good sheds. It's got great run defense. The sheds are better than like your standard double mug or anything like that. And then also the defense has all the coverages. You have all kinds of different coverages that you can mix in. And the shell feature is really good because you can kind of give that same pre-snap look, do a lot of different things behind it, and puts them in a position where it's just very difficult for them to be able to handle it. So anyways, a lot to learn from these games today. I hope that you enjoyed the breakdown. And if you want to check out any of my full schemes, they're available in our school community at the link in the description down below.